Roma elections. Marco Cavalli on a unique project and a meeting inside Today 954 photo. Marco Cavalli Archive. With permission. Co-chairman of Roma Luma Marco Cavalli exclusive. A unique and unprecedented project in the Czech Republic was launched in the autumn by the Roma political party Roma Luma. This contrasts sharply with the current situation, when Roma proxies are delegated by the non-profit sector and the practice where, according to Roma Lum, help for the Roma community does not reach the people, but only Roma organizations. Right now, thanks to it, Czech Roma can vote for their representative in fictitious Roma elections through a poll. The Roma Luma political party came up with the idea of holding fictitious Roma elections some time ago. We don't like that only proxies or various delegates of non-profit organizations still speak for the Roma. It is convenient for the government, but the Roma themselves often do not know these people at all. They are not a natural authority for them. At the same time, there is a right of minorities to political representation from the Constitution. But in our opinion, it should come directly from the ranks of the Roma. Only in this way can it defend our rights and interests while knowing our culture, customs and the functioning of the community, says Marco Cavalli, a Roma from Prague and one of the founders of Roma Luma. Give a hand, slam a door. She already started negotiating with the Ministry of the Interior some time ago about how it would be possible to involve more Roma at various levels of politics. They treated us with respect, but it was rather lax, to give a hand and then just slam the door. He described the atmosphere of the ministry's negotiations. The answers they received were several. They talked about the fact that various Romani political organizations and parties were already there. They also said that they could not imagine how something like this could be done, that it would cost millions and the like. Described the Romani politician, who is a construction manager by civilian profession. Precisely on account of these statements from the ministry, which by law also supervises the organization of political structures in the Czech Republic, but also with reference to the ongoing racism and xenophobia. People from Roma Luma decided to show the ministry that with a little goodwill it is possible to incite the Roma to choose their own candidates. According to Roma Lum, this was achieved and it was not that difficult. Currently, the nomination phase has ended, when people across the region nominated their candidates. About 50 people came out of it, which are candidates and so-called substitutes. Marco Cavalli described when asked by Praha in CZ, "We wrote Toluen children, enchanted apartment buildings, the first new building, Roma to themselves, in purgatory. Report, give us a change. Show your pockets. A group of teenagers surround me. I am in the Lunik 9 Roma settlement. I retreat tactically. There is a whistling behind me. 1311 202209. 50 life in the city extinguishing until the end of the year now." According to his words, the voting phase will run, which will last until the end of this year. People can vote for their candidate through our website in a poll that simulates an election, with everyone having one electoral vote based on their registration. This is what the so-called worm looks after. The result will be relevant data for us, which we want to present internally after the survey ends, explained the Roma politician, who ran unsuccessfully for the southern town in the autumn elections. With the results of the Roma elections, Roma Luma also wants to turn to Prime Minister Petr Fiala. The Roma political party cannot yet specify the exact profile of the candidates. The choice was truly democratic. People chose from their communities, their natural authorities. Of course, we know some of the candidates, such as Honza Cervenuk. It is he, for example, who has been providing humanitarian assistance in the lowest social stratum for a long time, and I mean real help, when he can really intervene where people have a specific problem. But we don't know all the candidates personally, Marco Cavalli explains, adding that although the party would not oppose the candidates from the majority, only Romas gathered on the candidate lists. There is no racism in this. It is rather a logical development, because the Roma need to be represented by someone who comes from our community, who knows our culture, he says. We wrote in the wild rhythm of Roma music. The Eve of Komoro belonged to the children. The meeting in the park near Villa Porthemka in Prague's Smíchov belonged mainly to children. On the eve of the main program of the World Festival of Roma Culture, 04/06/20223, 31 Pima Culture, a lost generation of Vajdas. At the same time, it is a direct connection with Roma history, in which the so-called Vajdas have always had a privileged position of natural authority. They have disappeared today. The generation of Vajdas no longer exists. But on the other hand, this tradition could be revived in this way, because people in the community will understandably choose as their representatives those people who, in the wider context, have just that natural authority and respect. People who are known in the community, who can help, who can stand up for others, who can represent their people, explained Marco Cavalli. However, according to him, the project of fictitious Roma elections is already causing resentment on the part of non-profit organizations that deal with Roma issues. According to him, they could lose their influence within the Roma community, the monopoly on the nomination of Roma representatives or proxies, but also the subsidies that flow into the Roma issue from the state or from European funds. We are trying to teach the Roma real democracy, so that they realize that they have their rights, that they can live freely. It's about time, because many Roma in this society really suffer, be it from difficult access to education, discrimination in the labor market and the associated social impacts, Cavalli concluded.